Stigginson, Brian Hurley shots around Cole, they got Brian Hurley.
Fantastic Hurley, this chance to get Ilan Gehrig Hurley, punching Brian Hurley, punch to Hurley Traston, kid score, when Hurley Castawala one, Taka Dwayne, Chan Toshi Fosig Hurley, Mahusha again, Ishkani Kitton, Hurley Abola, shot score Hurley, Jack Pertinta Hurley, Stan Lewis again, which you pop up and go Hurley, Lena Gordon, August Hurley, Hurley Traston, Brian Hurley, through the Brian Hurley, Toshi Fosig, Neil Lane, Top Gift, Hurley, Lenny Kitton, Hurley reached. Hurley, third swing score. Hurley, Lenny Ketto. August Canada forward saying Hurley. Push it in a foot and comes and catch a kick at the top.
I sprinted, I won the ball and headed him. And there was two of them in front of me. I kind of went to sink the shoe, like past them. And next minute, all I heard was like a ripping newspaper, three or four clicks. And the pain was back to me. Jesus! I knew straight away. You know, I went to point my hand and said, "No, don't this time. Just forget about it. You're fine. Get up. This cannot be. This cannot." My head. To be honest, after that, my leg my head was getting really worse than my leg. After about a minute, my head just started going, and I couldn't even think, concentrate. There's people around me. When they were lifting me up, I asked them to lift me on my side because I knew my hamstring would drop again. So I kind of held on to the hamstring myself this time, and I knew it was gone. I knew it was gone. Jesus Christ, it was the worst moment of of my career so far. It was probably that was the rock bottom. There it was. I knew straight away. Don't remember going into the dressing room. I can remember being in the dressing room. Truth be told, I was bawling my eyes out. I had my jersey over my head and I was bawling, and I tried throwing everyone out of the dressing room. I was cursing, and I can remember my mother was in tears. My brother was in the bench. He came in. I think the older brothers, one of them was playing. Maybe two of them were playing. Sorry. Shane came in and the father came in, and I even tried throwing him out of the dressing room, I was in bits. My hamstring was a big ball again. My head was going. I was going 200 miles an hour. I didn't know what to think. Didn't know what to do. I worked my balls off for the last 9 months, 8.5 months, 5 days a week. I have written down every session in a diary, and for that all to be thrown away just like the 9 months before, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? I kind of said, it was one of the lowest points I ever came across in the pitch, and it hurt big time. It made it easier to know what it was, I suppose, but I didn't. It was like I hit the dead end. Didn't know where my future was. Can I come back from this? How did it go? I felt 100%. I did all the work. Was it the boots? How did it happen? Did I slip? Was my diet right? Did I overtrain? Did I do enough? Was I hitting the right area? Go on and on. I couldn't understand how it happened to me again. It was my misfortune. I felt hard done by. That I trained so hard and got myself in the best position. Got my upper body lighter, so I take pressure off my legs, which wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. I dogged myself. I trained at 6 o'clock in the mornings for 2.5 months flat out. I did evenings as well, and I felt I was hard done by. I just, look, it was like deja vu really, from there in, went up to Cork, got a scan, went in to see the specialist. Nerves were damaged. Basically, I was in a seriously bad way. It was like an explosion in my leg, I was told. And they do not know if they could operate on that again. If I was being straight up with you, the surgeon came in then that did the first one, came in and said, "You want to put a gun to my head to operate in that leg again?" So basically, yeah, they were probably, they were raw with the news. It was raw. They're straight up. That's the way they operate. In fairness, and I didn't know what to do. That news for me was like, I suppose it was like that. It was like my career was over. That to someone say to you that you got an operation the year before, and you still did your hamstring off the bone again. To say that they can't operate it again, to sit and rest it is saying you're done, more or less. If I was being honest with you, I couldn't do it. That I couldn't, I couldn't accept that. I'd like to think that I'm a competitor, a bit of a fighter, and I explored my options. There's an NFL guy in New York, and one of the best in the world in London, Professor Haddad. So I've been told he was the best in things. So I did a lot of research, and we went over. We met him. I met Johnny Holland first, and he advised him. In fairness, Johnny was a gent to me. Like Johnny was told he'd never play rugby again. He was just making his name, made the breakthrough, was playing unbelievable rugby, and to never be told play again. I was close enough to that, but I still knew I had an outcome that I might be. There's still that percent of a chance that I still might be able to. My option in Ireland was that they can't operate. And usually in Ireland they could do anything. The Irish boys would do anything for you. You know what I mean, in a good way. But if they were willing not to, from a health point of view, it didn't look good. So I flew over. But look, he was like he's familiar. He does a couple of weeks. So this is where I wanted to go. This is the guy I wanted to see. After a month of research, we went to him and he measured my hamstring, how far it was down compared to my right and my left. He reckoned that I should have had 3 anchors in it the last time, not 2, and because he reckoned I had bigger hamstrings than a normal GA player. And so we went in anyway and we got the hamstring. He said to me, he measured it and he goes, I can operate in that, but based on the scan, he'd only operate with a neurologist team with him because the nerves were damaged slightly, and that he was afraid that they'd interfere with the operation, which gave me a bit of a shiver. You know what I mean? When I heard the word nerve and bringing more in around the operation, I said, this isn't going to be as straightforward as he thinks. So I asked the question, could he get me back playing? That was all that was in my head. Can you get me back playing? So yeah, I asked the question, can you get me back playing? He reckoned, he was confident he did. I asked him, did he have any success before getting someone back playing after a second one? And he said he did. He had a few. I was inside there and I was worried. I thought they were going to put the mask on my face. I said, how are you going to turn me over? Because they were putting it through the hand this time to knock you out. And the last thing I remember is he said, I lifted Paul O'Connell, so there's no problem with you. So that gave me, I smiled on my face for it in there. And we got the operation, the setup was unbelievable over, in fairness. It was brilliant, and, it was very professionally done. And so yeah, I was 4 weeks in, the second time doing it, and I was told this is my last chance, and this time I didn't even take off the brace for showering or nothing. I tell you, I did everything I was told to by the script. I didn't want to take any chance whatsoever. So even when I was showering and stuff, left the brace on, never left it out for air, even if it was itchy or anything like that. I just left it as it was. So on a Thursday, I was just up in my room. I was trying to do a small bit of butt squeezes to get the activation, to try to build a small bit in the glutes. So I was told to. I was grand into bed, and I woke up around 5 o'clock in the morning. I had serious pain. My leg was throbbing. The leg was throbbing, and Jesus, it was giving me kind of shocks. I was saying, what's going on here? Like, I didn't know what was going on. The brace is on me. I just thought I was sleeping on a bed or something, So basically, without even looking at the scan, we got a scan 2 days after, whatever it was, the Saturday, and we posted it over to the professor in the UK, the surgeon in the UK, and So the following week, my work, they brought me up to Dublin for the full week just to keep me involved, keep my head sane, and they put me up in a hotel, brought me in and out of the offices, and I was in work and about, I say it was around 4 o'clock. I think it was the Monday or the Tuesday, I'm not too sure. Got an email in from Professor Dad. A rupture looked like in the scan. I actually read it on my phone. I dropped my phone on the floor and my hands started shaking. Never did I get anything like that in my life. It was the scariest message I've ever received, ever, especially when I was taught before, and this is the last chance. I was still in a brace, remember, with crutches. I was allowed to drive because they gave me an automatic car. I was just slow getting in and out of it, and work gave me an automatic car. I left work. I said one thing to one of the lads at work, and they didn't work, and I drove to the hotel, and I was actually crying on my way back. I can remember the email said, like, it's the last thing he will want to know about it. Last thing he'll want to hear, but it does not look good. It looks like there's rupture, and more than likely that an operation would have to do to seize it back up, which would amend your career is gone, like, at the time it was like someone died in my family. I suppose is the best way to describe it. It was all over, like, it was all over. I crutched up to the hotel. I left the laptop and I crutched upstairs, sweating at this stage. I was shaking. My right leg was nearly going from underneath me, if I was being honest. And I went into the hotel room and I pulled the curtains. It's about 5 o'clock. My phone was hopping from the two boys. Aidan and Thing were on to me solid. I turned off my phone. Couldn't talk to anyone. Crying again. I was crying again. I turned off my phone. And just stuff went through my head that should never went through my head, just stuff that you should not be thinking. Stuff like you're a healthy athlete, and then this all happens, and then stuff goes through your head you should never think, like, and it was the worst place I've ever been. Like, and eventually turned on my phone, and I think I had about 24 missed calls and messages and stuff, and this is all from the lads, the medical team, and Marky was after ringing and stuff like that, and whatever way I had it, Marky rang, and I'd say we were 20 minutes on the phone. I was in a bad way. On the phone to him. I thought it was all over, like, In fairness, Marky's brilliant on the phone. Like, Marky's a great guy. Like, he's my best friend and stuff. So he'd a good chat with me, like, whatever. He was always there, of course. Whatnot, whatever needed to be done was done. He offered to come up and everything. So I said no, and I said I was grand, and I kind of was, and my head was gone. Didn't know a few. Like, I lived for football. I thought it was all gone for me. It was scary, very scary. And I normally wouldn't be the person to be scared of something, no matter what. It was a very scary time. And, like, I tried thinking positive things, like, but there was nothing positive about it. Like, I couldn't get it out of my head. Next minute, I'd say, I was lying in the bed, I don't know how long the hours went or whatever, it was, got a bang in the door. I was saying, it was kind of bang, knocking as I phone call. I know what was going on. It was the cousin. The cousin was after coming up from Kilkenny. I was just, the minute he came, he brought a bit of a bit of sweets and stuff with him and stuff like that, and just took my mind away from it. They were after ringing him, getting on to him whenever, and he came up from Kilkenny, like, you know. I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? My head, the minute he came, you know, he's been through three cruciates. He's been there before, and you know, it's a place where I wouldn't like to see any other athlete go. Like, you know what I mean? It's a tough place, mentally challenging. Like, you know, but he gave me the positives I needed. Like, you know, and I'll never forget that night. Up I went in the morning, went into work. I didn't sleep, nothing really that night. Went into work. I was in work for about 7. Showed the face, tried to be brave, and told the boss man, unbelievable. The boss was unbelievable to me. The boss was unbelievable to me. Go get it done, you know, if it needs to be done, whatever. So just unbelievable support, you know, and you know, I don't know where I was heading, but as the pain was going, like, you know, as the week went on, the pain kind of went. I popped a few stitches while I was doing the bum squeezes, and it showed a gap in the scan, which frightened the life out of me and everyone else probably around me, which turned out to be a small enough thing that it would naturally graft back together. And, you know, one second I thought my whole career was over, it was gone. And since then, I just been positive in every way possible, because it's probably the lowest I ever was, you know, in my career. Was the lowest point, like, you know, not that I was going to do anything stupid, like, but I hate injuries, despite them. I hate seeing people on crutches now. I hate seeing people sidelined. You know, I wish injuries could never happen. But look, the other side of it, there's worse people out there, you know. You have to be, you know, I have to put, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, I have to be positive and just get on with it, whatever it is, like, you know. Don't leave it knock yourself, you know, don't leave it knock yourself. Just get on with it, be positive. Some people can't work out there, go enjoy life, you know, just go enjoy it. And since then, I think I've enjoyed it more. Whatever future holds, I said, whatever it has for me, it has for me. Just go and enjoy it and attack it in a good way. And if it don't work, you can't do any more. You know, throw your hands in the air and say, give it the best shot going.